Greetings, brothers and sisters. Thank you for always coming back to learn from us and to teach us through your commenting on our videos, and also for sharing our videos, for liking this video, for buying us coffee with using the link in the description, that is Buy Me a Coffee / African Bars. Thank you so much. So since January 2024, this year, we saw Ethiopia wanting, actually it was since last year, we saw Ethiopia wanting so much to have a port, because you know, when you are a landlocked country, you are disadvantaged. You don't have a navy, you don't have a naval base. And Ethiopia really, because it's a fast growing country with over 100 million people, wanted to have a port. Yeah, they want to have their own port, not just access, because they can access a port through Kenya, through Somalia, through Djibouti, through Eritrea. But what they wanted is to have their own personal space. And they tried asking the countries around, and all the countries said no. But we have a country, we have Somalia, and Somalia have two breakaway countries which they are kind of independent, or still, we don't know whether they are Somalia as a country claims that Somaliland and Puntland are part of them. But Somaliland is kind of independent. Puntland is 50-50. We don't even understand what is all about in Somalia. I mean, these borders are crazy. But Ethiopia went ahead and met the officials of Somaliland, and they made an agreement. So Ethiopia met up with Somaliland and had an agreement in which Ethiopia was to recognize Somaliland's sovereignty, and as well as give Somaliland part of shares in Ethiopian Airlines. Good deal. In the same agreement, Ethiopia was supposed to get a 20-kilometer space in the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden, where they would set up their own port, their own naval base, and whatever they wanted. Easy peasy, brother to brother. And I supported it. She said no. But I said, we all need to be a brother's keeper. If my brother comes and says, bro, can you give me part of something that you have that I can use, and I'll give you part of what I have. It's a deal, like they are doing with other countries like Turkey, like US, like Russia, China. This is your brother. So things have been escalating since then. We saw them even closing the embassy of Ethiopia, sanctioning the leaders, and today we are seeing them setting a deadline of December 2024 for the removal of all Ethiopian troops from its territory. And the Ethiopian troops are part of the ATMIS troops. ATMIS is an acronym for African Transition Mission in Somalia. Previously it was called AMISOM, African Union Mission in Somalia. It was started some times ago so that it can help fight insurgents or terrorists in Somalia. But with time, it came and changed its name to ATMIS, that is African Transition Mission in Somalia. And it's kind of ending in December, and from there we'll be seeing a new kind of a mission, which will be post ATMIS, which will have countries like Djibouti, Kenya, Uganda, and Burundi. I don't know why Tanzania is not there, but Ethiopian troops have been excluded from helping. Like, we don't want your help because you are doing this and this. According to me, I think it's just Somalia's ego. This is just ego. If we were to, finish the borders, like Malema always says, like we all say, one Africa, no borders and all that, it means
everybody accesses
the port. But do you know that I cannot say that, okay, we have ended the borders and Uganda needs to use my port. I cannot give them my port. They will need to have a space and create their own equipment, to buy their own machinery for doing that. You know that. This is the same thing.
I will still stand by my words from the previous videos concerning this issue. Until East Africa, until these brothers sit down and remove these borders, to me this is just not even a story for discussion, because how do you now want to invest? It's invasion according to me, because if you want to forcefully have, well, might not be forceful, but the fact that you find yourself landlocked, that is not my problem. It's the white man's problem who came and divided us.
It's my problem. It's the white man has already gone.
Can I just put my point, straight here? It's not my problem as the one who has the port, because unless we sit down and we both agree, then our problem would be not agreeing. But the fact that you find yourself landlocked, I was not there when everything was being cut. So as Africans, we need to now take this thing into our own hands. How do we do it? Look at AES. If AES had a country that has access to the port, trust me, it would be very easy for them to just access in and out trade like that. They wouldn't even consider like, oh, Senegal is the one that is helping us. It would be AES. The whole of them would be doing whatever they want to do, because it's now free movement of goods and people. So the fact that we cannot stand by each other and work together, that is where the problem is. Otherwise, the problem of colonialism and us being divided, that was the white man's problem. Now we have to deal with the issue. How do we deal with it? Remove this problem. What is so difficult about it?
It's not the white man's problem.
Well, according to me,
it is our problem. What he messed us, he gave us a problem.
Yeah.
But for him, he benefited. You see, the first video we made about this is Ethiopia wanted a port. And Ethiopia went ahead to request all these guys, Somalia, Djibouti and Eritrea, to give them, some space. And it's not giving. They said, Djibouti is a very dry country, very hot. The temperatures go up to 40, 45, 46. Water is supplied from Ethiopia, so they have to buy. Imagine Djibouti said, okay, we are going to give you just 10 kilometers. You build your port and naval base, we don't care what you do. You extend your rail from, the capital of Djibouti or wherever it's going. You extend it to that port, and they have a port from Djibouti. You have a very efficient rail from Djibouti to Addis. Very nice rail, electrified, duo, and all that. If they did that and said, well, now give us a whole maybe some area, watershed, where we will be getting water without you coming in. Just we maintain the watershed, we source water from there, we could.
Yeah.
They didn't. So Ethiopia tried asking Somalia, Eritrea, and Djibouti. All of them refused to sit down, and that's why Ethiopia went to Somaliland, because Somaliland accepted. Now the problem is the relationship between Somalia, Puntland, and Somaliland. And this is something we can see is happening in Morocco and Western Sahara. Like some times ago, you find countries like Kenya, the AU, recognizing Western Sahara as an independent country. But Morocco still says Western Sahara is mine. We are seeing president of Western Sahara, like we are seeing president of Somaliland. You see? So the AU has recognized Western Sahara, Morocco doesn't. At some point, Morocco left the AU. So, what we need to have our leaders. I wish, like, Ethiopia was part of the EAC, like Somalia has joined the EAC, Congo has joined the East African Community. They would sit down and talk about it. There is the IGAD, Intergovernmental on Development. They should sit these guys down and talk and say, okay, maybe he came the wrong way, but can you sort this out? The AU hasn't been able to do anything. We are still seeing people dying in Congo and Sudan. So it's crazy. But what I wish is we could have presidents who, want peace, who say, let us sit this guy down and have a chat. Because we are all brothers, it's good for him to get a port, but you need to sit down and write. But what we are seeing is like some other people, external people, are influencing these countries to say no, so that Ethiopia doesn't get what they want.
I'll still stand by my words. It is the white man's problem. If you look at the AES, those countries, whatever France had done to these 3 countries, for example, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, it was the white man's problem. They came and divided that part of the Sahel, made it francophone, and they made it their own problem. But these 3 brothers came in and said, we will not go by your problems. We are removing these things and we are starting afresh. That white man's problem was over when this guy stepped in and said, we are ending it here. And if Somalia and Puntland and all of these countries in East Africa wanted to do the same thing, they could still do it. The problem with us now as Africans, we don't love each other. Nobody wants to listen to the next person. What has South Africa done just recently in the election? Same thing. You can't even work together. You can't even see eye to eye on issues. So, a port. What is a port? Just access to the sea, and then?
And it's some land which you're giving me so that
that's a black man's problem.
It's it's just some area that you are giving me, say build you or something there. It's like the way your brother can have a lot of land and you don't have, and he says, get that one I can build, even without giving me anything.
That is now the problem of the African man.
That is
eye to eye.
Yeah. So guys, this is something we can discuss up to tomorrow. Let us know if you're from Somalia. I know the people of Somalia really
they are very passionate about this
issue. They support their country. People from Ethiopia also support their country. But guys, do you know that we have Somali people in Ethiopia? Actually, we have a region called Somalia.
Even Kenya.
We have an area in Kenya. The eastern Kenya is all Somali people. So when you look at Kenya, and I'm sure even Djibouti is all Somali. Yeah. If you look at Kenya, if you look at Ethiopia, if you look at Djibouti, if you look at Somalia, it's the same people, brothers. So we don't have to fight.
See eye to eye.
Yeah. So guys, let us know what you think in the comment section. If you'd like to support us, we have a buy me a coffee link on the description. It's just for $5. You buy us 1 coffee, 2 coffee, 3 coffee, 4 coffee, as much as you are blessed to. And we'll see you in our next video.
Bye.